All right. Let's start some drama today. What's good? Drew Titan on deck. Bronx on deck. What's going on, man? How you feeling? We'll see as people come in, man. This thing looks like it's running kind of slow today. But yeah, well, so what's going on, Drew? Hope everything's cool. Looking forward to OG Boxing Talk coming up this Sunday. It's going to be good for sure. As always, y'all make sure y'all check out Drew Titan, LDBC Strong. So what's going on? Hey, Thrill Hill, what's going on, man? Shout out to you from West Coast, Florida. Yeah, man. Glad to see you guys are safe. Ain't running around trying to take over no police stations. Thrill Hill in the building. Yeah, it's coming slow. I got see people here, but none on the chat. YouTube must be having those funny, the technical issues that they have, man. So anyway, man, life is good, dude. Got some good news today. Got me some change in my pocket. Got a business thing. He said, I hate sympathizers. Who's the sympathizer? Oh, you talking about who's the sympathizer? I'm not going to guess, Drew. Seems, according to this thing, me and you, the only ones in the chat. Who you talking about? Who's the sympathizer that you're speaking of? Okay, yeah, it's looking crazy, man. Jose de Jesus, what's going on? It said no notification. It is what it is. It is what it is. It'll go out eventually. It'll pick up. That's what's happening. Anyway, so let's get to it. I did a video yesterday. Tiafimo defeated racism. Did he? Yes, Tiafimo don't know. What's going on, big time? Damon Wester, what's going on, man? Salute to you. Yeah, Tiafimo don't know. I want to know who Drew Titan's talking about with sympathizers. You hate the middlemen. You don't like the people that ride the fence. I'm not big on fence riders either. Pull counter boxing. What's going on, man? How you feeling? Yeah, I'm not big on that either, man. I just think you should call it like you see it, to the best of your ability. And what it is what it is. I understand being polite, though, and not, being upsetting people, but at a certain point in time, or being rude or incendiary, but at a certain point in time, stuff is just out of control, man. Daniel Pickney, I am doing well. How are you doing? I hope the same for you. Oh, the same. Drew said it, but he didn't mean it, as clowns. Oh, no. Drew Brees, you talking about? You talking about Drew Brees? Drew Brees? Y'all some dumb niggas if y'all think Drew Brees didn't mean that. Drew Brees meant that. He knew it. He ain't stupid. He's a quarterback. He's bright. He's smart. He knows what he said. He would just rather be getting the heat from you than getting the heat from his boys. Nanny was like, oh, this heat is a little hot. Let me go ahead and apologize, but after I already said it. Man, get out of here, man. That dude, please. You can tell by Drew Brees' haircut. That's how he thinks. Come on, man. That raggedy ass haircut he got, all the money he got, and he got that raggedy ass haircut. No. He got that. You can, like I told you, it's his outfit. Okay? He's telling you something. He is one of these Texas boys. He's listening to country. Bet you he's listening to country music. Just because you niggas love him don't mean them. Just because you niggas love him don't mean he loves y'all niggas. And I don't think he does. Okay? You don't let that come on, man. Because if he wasn't like that, he would have been sensitive. He would have been, oh, I can't say that. You know what I mean? Like Eminem could think what Eminem thinks, but he's been around enough black people where he would know not to say that. You got to be out there to know not to say that. I mean, not to know that you shouldn't say that. He said it in the soft version. Yeah, of course he did. I can never respect you, is what he said. I can never respect you because you're insulting our flag. How are you insulting? Well, let's get into his mind. What does the flag represent to him? He said he represents his father and his grandfather who fought for the country in World War I and World War II. That's what it means to him. So when you're insulting, when you disrespect the flag, you would disrespect his grandfather's memory. Reasonable. But also, what about some Kentucky country bumpkin ass dude who said my father fought in the Confederate? My father was a slave owner and fought for the Confederates. That's what I think about when I see the flag. That's what I think about when I see the flag. So, what about that guy that thinks it's disrespectful because of that? Because of what the flag represents to him. You know what I mean? So everybody, the flag represents a different thing to everybody. If it represents anything to them at all, other than them knowing exactly where they are now. Oh, the flag, we must be in the United States. There's the flag there. So when people say that they're protesting it, it's because because the flag means something to them. He didn't ask what does it mean to you all? Does it mean to you, your fathers? And no, he never even asked. Never asked. Ask me what it represents to me. Represents where I am in the United States. See the flag? This same stuff a racist with no tooth having West Virginia says, yeah, it's the same thing. Hold on though. Let me ask you something, Drew Breeze. So the flag to you doesn't represent me? You don't think about black people that suffered when you see the flag? I think about that. I think about all the dead slaves that it took to earn that flag. Took a lot of dead Negroes in order to make that flag possible. That's what I think. Would you agree, Brew? Would you agree, Brew? Would you agree, Drew? Tough stuff, man. Yeah, it's bananas. Now, this is already 48. Yeah, I guess you're right. Oh, that's what it is. I got you. Salute for 9, my Howard brother, man. Salute to you. What's good with you, man? Said, meanwhile, people fly the Confederate flag, which is a traitor's flag. Yeah, but so is all of them because, hey, man, they took it. So is the American flag if you look at it like that. You know what I mean? The Confederate flag is no more a traitor's flag than the United States flag is from the Union Jack. Right? So I think it's, shit changes. Shit changes. It went from the Union Jack to the American flag. And then the Southerners tried to take it to the Confederate flag. What's next? You know what I mean? Shit happens, dude. We went a whole century without some shit popping off in the United States. Major. Whole century. It's not going to last forever. There's going to be some shit that pops off again in the United States. You know what I mean? It's been a long time since there's been a massive amount of dumb shit popping off in the United States, other than people get thrown in prison. It's like more of an organized violence now. But not since like the Revolutionary War. That's in 1700s, right? Civil Wars in the 1800s. We skipped the 19s, and here we are in the 20s. Here we are in the 20s. You got craziness popping off, man. Craziness. Pablo Martinez, what's going on, man? Gregory Wyatt, greeting to you, my man. What's happening with you? Utah, Mark Wonderlick in the building. He said, Utah in the house. Salute for nine. Salute to you, man. Salute to you. So there's a lot of stuff popping off with that, man. A lot of stuff popping off. But yeah, Drew meant that, man. Drew Brees, he meant that. Come on, man. He would have known better. So, Tyson Fury being investigated, or is it investigated? I like the sound of the word Tyson Fury investigated, but that's not actually what it is. What is the name? The Taoiseach. The Taoiseach of the Irish, of the country of Ireland. The Taoiseach is all upset with Tyson Fury. Dre's Finest, what's good? He said, when I see that flag, I think of my dead ancestor. That is a reasonable connection to make. I think about police when I see the flag. Quite honestly, that is what I think. That's what I think about it. I think of the government. I think of the police. And when I think of the government, first thing I think is police. So yeah, by association, I would say flag, government, police. That's what I think about it. And also, if you want a problem with that, that would have been a good thing. What Colin Kaepernick could have said. Yeah, you think about the flag, the military. I think about the police. They got flags. They got flags. So hey, they need to stop killing us. Otherwise, I got to bend his knee. I got to bend his knee, or I got to sit down, because I think about the police. Now, would somebody say that you were being wrong if you said that you thought when you see the flag, you think about the police? They would try, but it wouldn't be a very good argument, because you see the police a lot more than you see soldiers. Trey, my man Raider Time says, salute for nine in the chat. Smash that like button, man. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Trump asked if I was getting his vote this morning. I said, is that a trick question? Neither one. I'm voting independent. Hi, haters. Oh, yeah, Trump ain't getting my vote. Neither is Biden. No, Biden. It is the same damn thing. Sorry. I can't, whatever, man. No. I can't do it, man. I can't do it. People keep wanting to make me do it too, but I can't do it. Can't do it. I got a conscience. I did not vote for Hillary Clinton. I was not voting for her. And Joe Biden, why? We just had them. Just had them 4 years ago. The whole administration that is trying to get back in, we just had them. So it's just like, let's just redo and go right back to what we had before he came, which led to him coming. That don't make no sense. I can't do it. You know what I mean? It's like once the Democrats fuck up one time, and then the Republicans fucked up the next time, and then the Republicans fucked up after that, and then the Democrats fucked up after that, and you just have to figure out which one is going to fuck up the least and fuck you over the least. Pick one, man. I don't know. Shit, I'll be there. I don't care. That's like asking me, you want curly fries? You want regular or curly fries? Fuck it. I don't know, man. They boycotting curly fries. They say that's nappy hair. That's racist. So those are nappy fries. So I don't know. Which whatever you get, I don't care. Shit like that. Shit like that, man. That's how much consideration I'm giving to either one of them. Like, I already know I don't like either one. For now, what about those that say our people died for the right to vote? Me personally, I need to see what Biden is offering. Lawrence RBE, this is what I say. If our ancestors did not die for the right to vote, they died because the motherfuckers killed them. Okay, first and fucking foremost, they were asking for something they wanted that they should have a right to get, and motherfuckers killed them for it. They didn't die for it; they were killed for it. So I got a problem with the people that killed them for wanting to vote, but they did not go out and say, "I'm going to die so I can vote." When the fuck did that happen? I've seen some motherfuckers die because they didn't want any more racial oppression. You need to get the fuck up off of me type shit. But not for the right to go vote. You only want to vote so that you can be treated fairly. That's it. It's the purpose of voting, to be treated fairly. That's what I want. How are you going to get it? I'm going to go vote. And the person that I like is going to give me what I want. That's the hope. Right? Ain't that what Barack Obama sold too? Hope. Nah, man, people throw a lot of cliches around, dog. For somebody to tell, one of the first things you should do when somebody gives you a cliche, some shit you've heard before, be like, shit, that's a fucking cliche. That's easy money. That's just a fucking cliche. Don't tell me no shit like that. Who the fuck died to vote? Why? Why would you die for that? No, somebody killed them. You know what I mean? It's like, I want to go to school. If I want to go to school and I show up for school and somebody kills me because I showed up for school, I did not die to go to school. I died because I went to school. And that's a big ass fucking difference. Now, isn't it? They died because they voted. Get out of here, man. With all that. I want to hear that shit. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear that shit. They didn't divide. There's no choice. When there's no choice. It's just no choice. It's the same thing. It don't matter. It don't matter which way the game is stacked. Do you expect anything out of Joe Biden other than Donald Trump not to be there anymore? That's it. It's the only thing that I can think. Well, Donald Trump won't be there. Oh, so we'll get a Ronald Reagan. We go back to the good old days of Ronald Reagan. Oh, well, we'll go back to the good old days of George Bush. One or two. You know what I mean? Or we're going to get a Nixon this time. Yeah, I promise you, we're going to get a Nixon this time. Maybe an Eisenhower. Oh, but you know we ain't getting no Roosevelt. Nah, don't get now. We ain't into all that Roosevelt shit, that social stuff. We don't do all that. You know what I mean? Don't guilt trip me off the suffering that don't guilt trip me off other people suffering. Okay. Some foul, that's some, nah. Yeah, and also you're trying to guilt trip me off of somebody suffering. Unless, it's you that is suffering for me. Like, hey man, like I tell my son, dude, I'm working my ass off so that you can so you can go to school, get a fucking job, do your damn homework. Okay, I'm suffering for you. You know what I mean? I have to work to make sure that that's the case, that you're taken care of. My man in the super chat, thank you so much. Jose de Jesus said, if Germany made flying the national flag illegal and anything affiliated with neo-Nazi a crime, then why can't we ban the Confederate flags? These racists need to get over the fact that they lost the war. Dog, because they still fighting that mug, man. You ever notice these people to give up easy? You ever notice them to give up easy and just give up a solid point? No, they think it's their birthright. They were fucked over and they're going to hold a grudge forever. And they still have their own states. So it's not like they got disbanded. They're still a state. They're still a sovereign entity. So they have the right to have their flag look however they want their flag to look. That's what they're saying. You can't ban, you're going to ban people from flying Confederate flags. That's freedom of speech. You don't want to even fuck around with that. Let them fly their flags. You don't want to fuck around with that. Because what's next after they stop people from flying their flags? You're going to stop some other shit that you want. You got to be careful. Any weapon you give them, dog, can be turned on you. You know what I mean? No. But they can. Hey, time to ante up. Much love in that super chat. It says, salute Fannon the Don. Educate these motherfuckers, please. Hey, man. Yeah, no problem. Any more questions? I'm into a question answering mood today. What's going on, Dre? Oh, Dre's Finest wasn't talking to me, but salute to you, Dre's Finest. Executive sessions. What's happening, man? I heard Damon Wester. I heard on the Breakfast Club, go vote because black people died for you to vote. Will said, yeah, fuck them and all that shit. Fuck that. That's a guilt trip. You're giving me a fucking guilt trip. I'm not fucking with you if you guilt trip me. I'm an asshole like that. Don't guilt trip me into that. You know what I mean? You need to earn the shit. That, make your vote like a beautiful woman's, love machine. That's how important your vote should be. That's how important my vote is. Like some real good Uchi. Okay. I ain't giving that shit away for free. And you motherfuckers better earn it. Okay. Otherwise, no pussy for you. Okay. You do not get my shit because you are not taking care of business. Sorry. No. Just like you dumbass people out there talking about AJ. Now I'm going to defend AJ today. Yeah, exactly, man. Don't give it all that. That's all that. Nah, I don't want to hear that. Kick rocks, dude, with all of that shit. Don't guilt trip me, dude. You didn't die for me. Who the fuck are you to tell me what they did for me? Who are you? No. They did a lot of stuff. They did a lot of stuff. They died to make sure that buildings got erected. They died. Here's the thing. My ancestors died for them too. They died. The true thing they died for is to make white people rich. That's the real reason they died. They died for that. Slaves died for that. Slaves died for capitalism is what they died for. That and natural causes because, everybody dies eventually. But that's just the real. You want to talk about what people died for? Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about when you mean what did they, as in why did they die? What was the reason that they died? You trying to make a martyr out of somebody that didn't want to be a martyr? All they did is want to somebody fucked them over. They didn't martyr themselves. They weren't like, they not like that. And here, who died? Who is it? Martin Luther King died for you to vote? No, he got died because some motherfucker shot him. Okay, that's why he died. He was speaking up about injustices and on all of this stuff. And he knew he could die, but he didn't want to. Put the blame on the murderers, homie. What these people died for. They died because of assholes is what they died for. Fannon, did they die for the right to vote? That's just semantics. They did die for the right to vote. That's just semantics. You're picking and choosing why they died. First time writing, love the show. Keno, they did not die for that. They didn't. Who? Name them. Name them. I mean, very seriously, name them. Who's them? And if they died for that, they didn't die for anything else, right? Or can you die for multiple things? Did they die to vote? Did they die for the right to vote and die for equal housing? Did they die for the right to vote and die to prevent police brutality? Which thing when multiple things were important to them, which one do you choose that they died for? Or can you just say that they died for everything? Don't play that's not word games. That's the meaning of a fucking word. That's why it's manipulation. You're playing on an emotion. I get what you're saying. What you're saying is that it was so important that people were willing to die for it. That's what you really mean. You mean that it was so important that people were willing to die for it. So you should take that seriously and vote. Respect the risk that they took. That's what you mean. But what you said is they died for that. And that's not true. That's an emotional manipulation. It's not word games, dude. That's speech. It's English. I'm telling you the truth. You're playing word games because you're trying to tell me they died for something they didn't die for. And you're making an emotional pull on me because I'm saying, dude, I don't trust either one of them. So you're guilt tripping. You're guilt tripping me, not you, Keno Turner. But I know what you mean, but I'm pulling out the guilt trip. I'm not saying, obviously, I know what you mean, but you're not saying what you mean. You're saying some shit that's emotional. and trying to get me to feel guilty and do what you want me to do. That's what that is. You trying to get me to do what you want me to do. Yes, you can be right or be wrong, but you're trying to convince me to do something you want me to do. And you use something, you couch something, not you, but people that use those phrases couch things in ways that it's not true. So don't try to manipulate me because I got a choice and you're trying to take my choice. I got a choice who to vote for or to vote at all. So when people say that it's mandatory that everybody vote, it's a law. You get fined if you do not vote. No, man, voting is not going to solve the fucking problem. You guys use vote. And here's my biggest problem with, I don't have a problem with voting at all. I will vote. I do vote. But here's my problem with the people that always spin that fucking line. The shit ain't working, homie. The shit ain't working. Shit's not working, man. Okay? How many fucking times are you gonna walk around this fucking block, dude? The store ain't down the street. Okay? You keep walking me around. You said, hey, let's go to the store. And you keep walking me around the block, and ain't no fucking store. I'm thinking you're setting me up or you're wasting my fucking time. Which one is it? Because the motherfucking store ain't there. We've walked this block. I walked this block 10 times already. I blocked this motherfucker 12 times already. Please stop telling me that. That's not it. If you feel like it is, keep trying. Keep trying. You know for one thing for sure you're going to get from voting some shit you don't like. You're going to get some shit. This is the funny thing about the whole conversation. You're out of Zeus. Shut up. My dogs. Okay, so one thing, your equation, not your equation, this equation you guys are pitching. Vote. If you don't vote, vote for the lesser of two evils. Either way, I'm voting for something evil. Either way, I'm going to get something that I don't like. I just don't know which it's going to be, what it's going to be. This person's going to ship jobs away. This person is going to try to ship people out of the country. I don't like either one. So any way it goes is going to result in me being dissatisfied. And when you talk about black people, 1965 to now, it's all of my life. Now, I can tell you that for sure. After the Voting Rights Act, I've always been able to vote. Never had an issue with being able to vote. My entire life. Shit ain't got no better. So please stop. Jason Williams said, Fannon, off topic, what kind of dog do you have? I have an Anatolian Shepherd and I have a Westland Terrier. I got a West Highland Terrier. I think that's what they call it. A West Highland Terrier, little white dog, mean as a fucking snake, just a killer. and I got a big dog that's very loud and very like imposing, but is, very, very nice dog, very friendly dog. They died trying to improve their quality of life, dude. People die because they don't want to be mistreated. They stand up for themselves and then they get killed. It's not a complicated scenario. You're mad about something or you're upset about something. You want something to change. You speak up about it. That means you're standing up for yourself and your values. Somebody else kills you to stop you. That's why the people died. And all the fluffy poetry and all that, I'm just not the type. I'm not the type for the poetic look. You know what I mean? The shit you can put in a song. about fluffy clouds and pains and tears of a clown and all of that. No, I'm not that person. What happened was they stood up for themselves and somebody killed them. Same thing happened. And I bet you the majority of these police brutality killings, somebody spoke up, whether small, incidental or not, they were perceived as having spoken up and stood up for themselves. And the police officer that killed them for doing it. Maybe that's why Eric Gardner, they never let Eric Gardner up out of that chokehold. You see why people died. So why are you throwing that shit in my face? People are telling me what Eric Gardner died for. He didn't, or what George Floyd died for. He didn't die for that. He was walking across the street, go take care of business, do whatever he was doing. You make it a poem if you want to make it a poem. But don't sing it to me. What happened was, more than likely, they said do something, and I mean the slightest of things. I don't mean anything crazy. I mean do something like walk here. He didn't move quick enough, right? Or he put his hands, they said put your hands up, and he put his hands forward. And they interpreted, I'm in fear of my life. Why? Because somebody resisted what you told them to do. And you took the first opportunity you had to do it. And you see this played out in real life. And then still people are going to tell me what people die for? That's how they die. Right there, it's on tape. It's on tape. The problem is they stood up for themselves. And you feel superior. And you therefore believe it is your right to dominate. It's not complicated, dude. It's not complicated. That's why people die. So when somebody tells you people die for the blah, 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 tell your writer to go get another motherfucking cliche out the bag. Okay? To guilt trip me with Mr. Democrat. That's the Democrats' line. That's their line. Your people died to vote, so vote. And you got to vote for me. Take a knee with you, with the kente cloth, hats, and all that. Man, come on, man. Why? Why I got to do that? Anybody got boxing questions? Any boxing? People treat voting like it's their home team versus a visiting team. Yeah. He said, if I'm not getting my beautiful black agenda, I will vote down ballot. Man, hey, Dre's finest. Dude, come on, man. Get your hopes up, dog. Get your hopes up. All I say is they're letting you run around the prison yard for a little while. That's what I see. I know that's terrible. That might sound terrible. But I seem like they just letting you out on the prison yard for a little while. Just let them niggas out on the prison yard. Let them run around a little while. Wait their signs. Give them a minute. Don't worry about it. This election gets over, we'll clear them shits out. Now, all that shit's coming to a halt right around us, right after the election. And it'll be beautiful how everything gets shut fuck down. But then there'll be a lot of people watching how it gets shut down. Watch that. The moments to watch in all of this rioting and all this stuff, not the rioting, but all of the protests, is after the election. Between the election and the inauguration, that's going to be the time to watch. That's what I'm waiting for. The proof is in the pudding then. Because your vote, you already gave up the coochie. Because you already gave it up. Once y'all give it up and they get it, catch me right after that. Then let's start talking. Then I'm going to watch very closely. Talking about police budgets being slashed. Yeah, please. The day them motherfuckers stop spending money on police. Please. Please. Shit. I don't think I've heard anything stupider in my life than somebody believing that they're going to do that shit. Please. You believe that shit? Do any of y'all believe that? They got them shit. They handing y'all blankets, dog. Deshaki Jones said, "You casting pearls before swines, giving game up." Hey, man, I'm giving game up. It's all right. It's good. Life's good. Like I said, I got a bucket of ducks dropped on me today. Like, bow. So I'm happy. I don't give a fuck right about now. That's that fresh off, I got some money that I didn't expect it type of happiness. The good one. When you get a couple more links in your chain, you're feeling good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, it said, hell no. Lacey Jackson, hell no. Do you believe that? Like, dude, the things some of y'all believe. Dudes, that's what I'm saying. Do not allow fluffy talk around you, man. Do not allow fluffy talk. Because all that crap, dude, it's just. You said, Fannon, did you see the interview backing off the Fury versus Joshua after Wilder? I say, did you see the interview backing off the Fury after Joshua after Wilder? Oh, yeah, he backed up off that shit because I already told you, because the T-Shuck says something about it. The T-Shuck. You know who the T-Shuck is? Come on, is there an Italian guy? I mean, is there an Irish guy out there who can tell him who the T-Suck is? The T-Suck. The T-Shuck, I got to keep looking to make sure I don't mess up the pronunciation. The T-Shuck, dog, he done fucked up. He done went a step too far, dog, with that. Politicians are afraid of the police blue gang. Not that, Warren Hennon. They are part and parcel of the same mechanism. They are not going to turn their dogs away from you. Are you fucking crazy? No disrespect to you. They will not turn those off because they're the only ones between them and you. They're not going anywhere, dude. They're not going anywhere. You don't get confused and think they're some separate entity. They're not a separate entity. They are one entity. One. Okay? The criminal justice system. It's one. It's not just the executive branch of it, right? On the local level. No, they're not giving them up, dude. And if they do, you should be really worried for what will replace it. Because the function will remain intact. Believe it. Believe it. That's like going into a fight, like you in a fight, and somebody whispers in your ear, "Hey, don't worry about it. For the first 5 rounds, I'm not gonna throw, for the first round, I'm not gonna throw, I'm gonna have my hands tied behind my back in this fight." You might as well believe somebody when it says that they're gonna literally fight with their hands behind their back before you believe that they're gonna do that. No way. No way. If that man, dude, come on, man. No way. So they're playing possum, basically. Dude, they're pulling police away so that you don't get no more shit stuck on fucking tape. No more shit on tape. They're not too far off the top. I would bet that it would be more the Republican types that are pulling the police back. Right, and the Democrat, and then probably that side would pull them back too, because that means more people doing crazy shit. So the more people do crazy shit, the more that stuff's out there, and you start seeing like what's in Seattle, where it looks like they got a whole block, where with a broken down police office, police station with boards up and spray paint all on it, looking like setup number one. Like, okay, so that's what America is becoming. Since we stood up for police brutality. So the choice is either between black folk dying or police departments looking like that. Well, we're going to tie you black folk up. That's what we're going to do. Okay. Come on, man. The police chief there was pissed. Like, why would you pull the police back from Seattle, from that place in Seattle? Why would you do that? Why would you just say, come on into the police station? Fucking world do you people, what fucking world do you think we're in? That's like leaving those bricks laying around the street. They abandoned the police office. Like, oh, we're in danger. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here, dude. That is fucking comedic. That's acting. The police chief's like, why would you do that? You know, and now you got people running up in there. Dude, man, come on, man. Please. I'm just saying, I'm staying at home. I don't buy none of this shit. I don't buy it. Love the conversation. That's why, for the most part, I stick with boxing. Because that's just so phony. Like, phony. UK and Irish government displeased with Daniel Kinahan being openly involved with AJ versus Fury may shut it down completely. That's the Irish government. That's the Taoiseach. The Taoiseach is the president of Ireland. The president of Ireland was shocked that he heard that Daniel Kinahan was going to be involved with that fight and called United Arab Emirates to say, hey, we've heard that a certain person is involved in a fight and that disturbs us greatly. Now, why could it disturb him greatly? Dude, and of course he's well, I don't know if it's going to happen or whatever. No, dude, Tyson Fury with his spastic ass just ran out and said something he shouldn't have said. Eddie used it, to market AJ and probably kill a fight. But I don't even think Eddie Hearn, I'm sorry, Eddie Hearn didn't say that. But Tyson Fury did. Dude, don't ever talk to me about Tyson Fury not being a cheater and the people around him not being. That's the killer. It's like, dude, you realize that in a fight, I won't say, no, fuck it, I'm going to say it. If somebody did anything to Deontay Wilder's water, there's no reason to believe that Tyson Fury would have to know about it in order for them to do it. Fannon Salute, just supporting the channel, man. Much love, Underground Asylum, man. I hope everything's well with you. Thank you so much for the support, man. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. Greatly, greatly appreciated. The UK government can't do shit. Kinahan is in Dubai. They can't do nothing. Yeah, they can. Sure, they can. You got some bank accounts. No, they can't. Probably not. Probably not. Not for something that's happening in a different country. I doubt they'll do anything about it. I don't think they'll get in the way. It's a lot of money. And those are government officials. They don't typically get in the way of a lot of money. Unless, that lot of money is coming from people that they ain't down with. At least that's what I think. Fannon, do you think AJ walks back his comments or co-sign what Eddie Hearn said silently? No, I don't think he'll back away from it. I think he meant it. He told the people that got a problem with it, fuck you. I think that's him. There's no reason for me to believe that's not him. The dude got a flag of Africa on his tattoo. It means something to him. His family's African. It means something to him. And his friends are Caribbean. It means something to them. Now, they may not see eye to eye with us as blacks in America, but, they're still black people. So, they're not just hiding and acting like that it ain't there. But, hey, man, he's a young dude too. What is he? Is he 30? So, he's not that old. It's probably a lot of his friends and people and family and things like that, people that he grew up with out there doing that. Those are people that he grew up with. And that's what they believe. And if that's the people he grew up with and he's with them, then that would tend for me to believe that he believes what they believe, because that's where he's from and he's still friends with them. Now, if that's where they're from and he was never there and didn't know none of them, then, maybe. But no, I think he's being serious. I think they're serious about it. Oh, Juniper B said, wait, what did Hearns say? Eddie Hearns, I'm gonna put that S on him. Eddie Hearn said that AJ was misunderstood, that they misunderstood. He was misquoted, or they took it out of context. I think he said that they took AJ's words out of context, which is horse shit. I heard what he said. It's just horse shit because he doubled down on it. And everybody, yeah, of course, people know that. Or let me be clear about it. Eddie Hearn mentioned the fact that many people don't realize that AJ didn't write the speech. He just said it. He just read the speech. And then if it was his speech, he would have written it differently. Or if he was talking about himself, you know, his own opinion, he would have said something differently. So he pretty much just tried to say that that it wasn't really AJ. That's not an AJ. That's not really what AJ's about. He just was caught up in the moment and read, you know, what these other people around him had to say. But in doing that, he exposes himself. Why you feel the necessity to apologize, Eddie? And I'm serious, man. You guys, what's going on, Brothers UK? I don't want to ever hear you people from fucking UK tell me there ain't no racism there. Because I know I just saw some. Saw it. Why can't black people in Watford, wherever that is in the UK, what is wrong with them deciding to spend their money with people in their community? If their friends open a store, what would be wrong with them helping their friends make their friend, their business successful? If Anthony Joshua is putting millions of dollars behind this and getting people to open businesses or shops and use his money to let those guys get set, and therefore, if in partnership with that, the community agrees to go to those businesses, seems like very entrepreneurial of him, doesn't it? Sounds like entrepreneurialism to me. What capitalism is about. You have a market, you get your customers, and you want your customers to buy from you. So he said, hey, I'm going to give these business people, because I've been successful because of you, and I have this money, I'm going to invest in you. Now, when I invest in these shops and these things I need for you, to then spend your money with them so you can fund it. I'll start it, but you fund it. And we can do it like that. So we have more successful people in the area who then can like that. But these people are acting as if they call Anthony Joshua racist for believing that. But he's just saying that he wants, what's wrong? What is it? Oh, I get it. It's the effect. The effect is that because this money is going to get spent somewhere. The money is going to get spent somewhere. They have to eat. They need beds. They need food. They need to get their hair cut and their nails done. They need to go to a movie theater. You know, all these things that you do every day where your money goes, you're going to need those. Those are things that some things are things that you need, and some things are things that you want. So, hey, if you need to buy things, why don't you buy them from us? Right? Because then you might need a job. And when you need a job, hey, I might be there to hire you. Or if your kid needs a job, I'll be there to hire your kid. Right? And now that helps you. Isn't that the purpose of having a marketplace in the exchanges? What's wrong with that? It's because the only thing that could be wrong with that is its wealth distribution. It's wealth redistribution. They are redistributing the wealth, but it's their wealth. It's their wealth. And they figure, hey, it's something in it for me to spend with you. There's something in it for me, other than just the product that I get. It's also knowing that will help. This may help me if I actually need a job one day. And I don't feel like having to go across town and ask him for a job and go follow the money where it went. Right? So what's wrong with that? It's because there's a population of people there that are already making that money. And they want to keep it. That is wanting to keep it the way it is. And if you call him racist for doing that, for saying just buy for my people, then aren't you, because you want them to continue to buy from you? Put your money with people where you like the product. Put your money where you like the product. And if the product includes the interaction that you get with the people that own it, so be it. Atmosphere is part of it. And if it's your friend, buy from your friend. But in order to do that, though, you're going to have to overcome some fucking hurdles, which is you're going to have to stop thinking that their shit's better than yours. That's going to be necessary in order to make that successful. You're going to have to believe that your shit is as good as theirs. Do you believe that? Or do you believe that you're just doing them a favor? You got to change the mentality first. But I suspect that the more that you buy from them, the more you realize, oh, no, I like it. I like their product just as much. Prices are reasonable. What's the problem? So don't tell me that they're not racist, because if you weren't, you wouldn't have an issue with that. You wouldn't have an issue with that because everybody does that. Everybody else does that. You just don't want them to do that. Indians do it. Yes, you do. You have stores where you get your food that are owned by Indians. Yeah, you do. So stop it. You have Asia have whole Chinatowns, okay, built on that same principle. But oh no, AJ do that, cardinal sin. So don't tell me y'all ain't like that in the UK. Also, the fact that they feel the necessity to do it, because they feel it's necessary to do. So now I know it's there. Now I know it's there. Collateral damage to these people doing what they doing over here, man. AJ is doing what? AJ is doing what white people been doing since the beginning. They pissed because they don't want to share the wealth. They think it should all be theirs. Juniper P, that's very true. No, they believe it is theirs. They believe it is theirs. And the people that I've heard ain't even black people. These people are Indians. I've heard some spastic shit from some people who are, British, some spastic shit, like whatever. You know what I mean? They're more about like race, like the acknowledgement that there's race is racism. You know what I mean? The acknowledgement of racism is racism. It's just something that makes them feel very uncomfortable because it's a weak spot for them and they don't like that. You're picking at their scab, and they don't like that. You know what I mean? And that's why they flip on it. At least that's my take. That's my take. And sometimes maybe in the UK they may feel that way, like they don't get, especially like somebody from Ireland in some like remote ass area of Ireland, he might feel like it's all bullshit because shit, he's from Ireland. So when would he see this? Sure they have black people in Ireland, but it wasn't a major slave. It was not part of the triangle trade. I'm sure of that. So, some of them very well they might believe the shit's just made up because they're not here, It's funny thing is, dude, that, it shows up when we show up. And if we're not around, it don't show up. You get me? There ain't no race problems in a room until black people walk in it. You know what I mean? So it is make-believe for them, the majority of it. Not real because it's not. First of all, the shit's not race ain't real to begin with. In a physical sense, it's not real anyway. But the definition of black as a race, definitely that shit's not. It's not real. Like I said yesterday, it's a social construct. So it only really appears when people are together. It's like a magic trick. Like two people, like I'm walking around my house. I would not know, I know that I'm, human because I can walk. I got two legs and I got to use the bathroom. All that shit is, connected to biological functions. I know that I'm a man because I'm walking around and, hey, I'm about to go get me some type shit. I know I'm a man, a male. But you never get a concept of being black until you're in the presence of somebody that's not. But you also will recognize the race of somebody quickly if you've seen them for the first time. You might think of them as, hey, that's that acknowledgement. That's that, oh, you recognize that we're both in the same skin. Oh, you too? Yeah, me too. You get a quick nod and you keep it moving. Right? So, but it doesn't exist in and of itself. You know what I mean? You can't catch race. Like, you got cancer or some shit, it. You find out it's a real thing. That whether there's somebody there or not, right? Race is like sound. It does not exist unless there's somebody there to perceive it. Unlike the thing that would create the sound. The tree is really there. But the sound, that's a two-way connection. It doesn't exist unless, it's interpreted by somebody. But even that is more real than the concept of race. Skin color is very real. Skin color is definitely real. But not how you categorize it. So yeah, I think there's a lot. I said all that to say that I think that's why I think a lot of people are shocked that they get wrapped up in the racist thing, because I would think from a white person's point of view, Fannon, who created the racial divide, I think that it began. This is Patreon. Now you're trying to get into the big money now. Now Revo Map, you asking for the good shit. Okay. All right. I give you a little bit of it though. It's a result of the it started with the physical domination of non-white people by white people. It began once the dominating relationship began. Because that's what it is. The flip of white supremacy, the side that people don't say often, is black inferiority. You can't have white supremacy unless you have non-white inferiority. They're part and parcel to one another. So the establishment of it established when there was enough physical control over people who were non-white. So once the domination began, that's what started it. And then when the domination was complete, it was reinforced psychologically. So now we have both. But in order to have started it, you would had to have had physical domination, because it could never take root if you were not actually dominated, because you would never have the inferiority complex. You feel inferior based on what's going on in the real world. And your psychology or your psyche is made up not only of your just innate being, but also the socio-economic considerations in the world, your experiences rather in the world. So you were born a man, you become black. You were born a man, they were born a man who became white. And because you get what I'm saying? I won't go into it. It said the SWIFT system periodically attempts to make it onerous to transfer funds from my U.S. account to my Nigerian account. Oh, you trying to make that money move? Hey, they're going to be watching that money. No, not white inferiority complex. It's a white superiority complex, dude. Don't get it twisted. No, it's a superiority complex. Even what you think is inferior is a superiority complex. Because whatever they're not better at, they denigrate. And they make it less. It makes it, you make it bad. And for it to be bad, that makes them better. So that's another way to justify the domination. It's not. They'll just act like the shit don't matter. You know what I mean? Or it's bad. You know what I mean? So like, just that still is a matter of superiority. And there's another thing. They have the ability to influence the opinions and the psychology of everybody else, because they're the ones that physically control the things that everybody wants. It's control and domination. And you have to achieve that physically first, which is why I think that it's repulsive to the idea of white supremacy that there is any black independence. Because if you're independent, you can't be inferior, because you're no longer needed. The dependency part is as important as the abuse. It's the abuse and dependency. It's abuse and dependency. You need to be dependent upon them. That's why you think, like, why else would you think that people, they are really pissed off when people try to be separate, right? Like, we're going to leave, we're going to go do our own thing. Oh, you're the worst thing ever. Because if you're not here, they're not here. A considerable amount of all, like I said, it is an interpersonal relationship. And then it becomes more of a social relationship. At least that's my viewpoint on it. Yeah, and so that's why the part of it that I think that we miss is that this has been my experience. A problem with black people not understanding that's a major problem, that black people don't understand that. It's a major problem that we, and by and large, do not understand that it is not just a financial problem, that it is also a psychological problem. And it can't just have a monetary solution. It has to have a psychological one too. And you can see it in the defense mechanisms that people take. Like major super African, like everything is African. That's an attempt that's the same thing as people getting high. Like, you are trying to surround yourself with this positive images of what you are. So it's like beautifying your own house. But that is this part. So whenever I would have people, that's like Jason Whitlock saying, being completely unwilling to hear LeBron James because LeBron James now has money. That just tells you Jason Whitlock's an idiot. He doesn't understand that there's something else to it. LeBron James is not free from being black. He's still black. And the fact that he knows he's still black tells you right there that the problem's not solved. Simply because he still sees himself that way, and he acknowledges that other people see him that way. That's the acknowledgement of the artificiality of his life. One hitter quitter said, as long as we continue to go for them for approval, even for equality, they boast of their superiority complex. Yeah. And it increases your dependency, your inferiority complex, because we have an inferiority complex. And I think by and large, I believe that's very true. Psychopathically so, to be honest with you. Arrogance is not self-assuredness. Confidence that you can do one thing is far different than a confidence that you can do anything. That's the difference. you can get some confidence that you can do something. Because I know I've shot this ball a million times. This shit's going to go in the hole. But do you really believe that you can be the president of Amazon? What would be the first thing that you believe that would prevent you from doing it? Oh, I'm black. Number one hurdle in your life. Isn't it? That's why people are celebrated for being the first to do something. You might as well, this is the first. We've overcame that hurdle. We've shown we're not inferior because we've shown we're not the inferior tennis players because I won. You're not the dominant, but you're not but you're not inferior. Right? So anything that the European is very, very good at, we celebrate anybody. The first person to also do it, that helps us with our collective inferiority complex. That's the importance of that. You know? Dashiki Jones said, please continue this topic on Patreon. Oh, I got a whole series of this coming on Patreon. Yeah, I got the whole thing coming on Patreon. You'll get the whole detail. You'll get it all. And here's my session, just so you know. This is what I was working on. See that? This is my audio for the project that I'm working on. Yeah, man, I'm going to document all of it. So because you should understand how, here's my thing. I'm going to explain what racism is and how it works. Because if you don't understand, everything else will only confuse you. I'm taking that very seriously now. And I think I can explain it because I think I understand it. I'm very confident. I believe that I have a better grasp of it or a more realistic grasp of it than Snoop Dogg does. You know what I mean? And when I knew it was time to do it is when I could start saying, looking at Neely Fuller Jr. and saying, oh, you can improve on that. Neely Fuller Jr.'s concept can be improved upon. Not replaced, but enhanced. Absolutely, it can be. Because he ignores a certain portion of it was not important to him because of his character and who he is. But it is absolutely important because he never says that he knows what the solution is. But I think that there is. And I think that it is something that people ain't gonna like. But somebody gotta go. You know what I mean? Something gotta go. You know, because it can be solved. I believe that I truly believe racism can be solved. I'm not a fatalist anymore. I was a fatalist before because none. He said, how do I get to the Patreon? You can click on any video and it's got the Patreon connected to it. It's like Fannon boxing on Patreon. I said, I think he meant the superiority complex comes from deep-seated inferiority. They have to use influence to quell any idea of someone else's greatness because it's evident their superiority is superficial. Let me see. Not skipping super chats for nine. I said was funny. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean that, man. I don't mean to be. General Skrull said, why not let El Chapo make the fight for Canelo? Hell yeah. Put your El Chapo make that fight. Get that mug. Yeah, let's just get them all. Hey, let's just get it go. Let's just get it going. Hey, man, let's get El Kuwait in this bitch now. How about that? How about that? Let's get some El. And matter of fact, oh, I'm sorry. I said let's get El Kuwait involved, but then I forgot. Oh, Tyson Fury already got them on lock. So Tyson Fury already got that money. Continue this topic on Patreon. The SWIFT system, I got that. They don't want their money going to us. Facts. Yeah. Okay, cool. I got everybody, man. No, racism is a disease. Only certain people get it. No. Do you realize that black children are healthy until the moment they come near white society? Immediately. A normal functioning child will become abnormal right off the fucking bat. Think about it. Like, there was this book some years ago where they made an argument. It's called The Bell Curve, and they were making an argument for one hitter could have said racism can be solved. Respectfully, I would disagree. I haven't got there yet. Oh, no, it can be solved because it's man-made. First thing you got to admit is you got to get rid of some misconceptions. That's the first thing. That's why I say you got to understand what it is first, and then before you say whether it can be solved. But it's man-made, and therefore it can be solved. It's something that's constructed, can be deconstructed. Mind is very flexible. The mind is very flexible. And once the mind changes, all that other shit that the mind manifests will change. The most important step is that people have to understand that it's not real. It's still referred to as real by everybody. Listen carefully. Everybody treats it if it's a real thing. Like objective, like it's an objective truth, like this phone. If you continue to think about it that way, then yeah, it's never going to go anywhere because it's always going to be with you. And Gregory White, I think right on a physical sense, I don't know if that's possible. But I'm going to give it to the Patreons, dog. I'm going to give it to the Patreons. Because this is a complete thought. And it really is like, you just have to understand that it's a jacket. Canelo. You know what a microcosm is? Macrocosm and a microcosm. If you're familiar with that, time to you, man. But yeah, it can't exist. Racism can't exist where there's no racists. It's going to have to die off, even if it's solvable. They would have to first acknowledge that they're racist. I think that they have to recognize that they have a superiority complex. I don't think that they need to right away recognize that they're racist. I think that's a step too fast. I think you're going for too much with that because it's not real to them. How are they going to believe that they're a racist when they never see it? They never touch it. They've never done anything. You're trying to put a jacket on them that they don't see. It's invisible to them. That is your relationship with them. But what you might be able to convince somebody is that you have a superiority complex. You think that you're smarter, better than black people. You behave like that. You're patriarchal, whether you're polite or whether you're mean. It doesn't matter. You have a superiority complex. You're looking at it. You're looking down on us. And you could say, no, I don't. No, I don't. Here's a perfect example of somebody that wouldn't even know that they have a superiority complex. I think somebody in the 60s said the white man got a God complex. You got a God complex. That's what they call it, a God complex. No, it's a superiority complex. A bunch of different things all wrapped up into one. And now you got a superiority complex. And when you got a superiority complex and somebody challenges your superiority, you go after them. What is white supremacy? Superiority complex. White supremacy, white superiority complex. That's what it is. Woo! It's a complex. combination of a bunch of fucked up thoughts and experiences that all wind itself up into the way that you see the world. The complete phrase is white supremacist superiority complex. And it is a social thing. And they have it and pass it to each other through story, through song, through deed, through the color schemes. Because once you got the superiority complex, everything else you do, you write, you sing, it doesn't matter. You do it with that complex. And don't you think? No, it's not an untrue complex. It's a true complex. Jermaine, it's not an untrue complex. It's a legitimate it is a complex. It's real to them. It's real. Just like the inferiority. We have to work 10 times harder to do the same thing that they do. That is an inferiority complex. Right? A black man has to fly to get where a white man can walk. Well, that's an inferiority complex. It might be true, right? The situations that you see, the social economic part of it is necessary to instill the inferiority complex, but it's still there. All the magazines, you turn your TV show, all you see is them happy, you poor. You start to associate negative things with yourself, and you struggle your hardest to try to get out of them. So our life path through life in a large way is an attempt to get out from feeling inferior. Because it's black inferiority is married to white superiority. It has to be, or non-white inferiority. And that's why you see Africans trying to bleach their face straight, trying to bleach their skin. They nothing look crazier than the Nigerians doing that shit. That looks straight crazy. Like that looks like they're doing that shit and walking around, like bleaching their face completely out and walking around. You cannot tell me that shit don't look crazy. That shit look crazy. Because it is. So I'm telling you, it's a massive inferiority complex. Tearing other black people down. Inferiority complex. You getting too close to white people. You acting too much like a white person. I don't like that. You know? Superiority complex. I'm lighter than you. I have straight hair. My mother's part Indian. Right? Because it's something that's different, something superior to just you regular niggas out there. Right? Then we have good hair. All that shit all of those type of things are in here, which are reinforced by the physical things. Said facts, Fannon, and the bastard child of the two. Nuggles. Nuggles. I love that word, nuggles. Yeah, man. He said we are bigger, faster, stronger, and invented everything. They take credit. We're not bigger. White people are probably on average taller, I suspect. Slightly taller. Stronger, definitely, if you work at it very, very hard and you want to become in sports, we definitely have the body that will change into anything. For sure. That is a set. You know why that is? Because that's real. Our bodies are real. They're real. And we derive a lot of strength from our bodies. Absolutely. But it's real. Our muscles are real. The speed and the desire to win is real. The reason why is some horse shit. And it was a result of an inferiority complex by and large. Right? How am I going to get out of my neighborhood? Oh, I got to get, why are you going to school? So I can get out of here. I can take some of my family with me and get away from these niggas. Because I will get to the big house over there out there in the suburbs where my life will be great. No. Bert from Artigan says slightly taller. Yeah, slightly taller. They're on average a little taller. You know? But doesn't matter because we will actualize some shit because that's what we know we can actualize with. And with on the physical realm, we have a lot of confidence. We have a lot of confidence. And I do believe that there is think about how they justify that. But that's like I said, it's going to take it starts with that framework though. I think on average, black people are taller if you consider Africans. I don't know. I know that the tallest groups of people, there's not any real distinguishable difference. Truth be told, not a big difference in height, size. There's not a big difference in, there's not a big difference in intelligence. There's just not, because it's just not real. That's the only way I can say. No, there's just a very little difference. We're just people. We're people. You know? Like somebody from somebody from Nigeria, doesn't look like necessarily the ones from Kenya, or was it Kenya? Yeah, where the real tall dudes from. What's going on, American Patriots? Luel Dong comes from the tallest tribe of people on the earth. Yeah, he does. Some bunch of big tall dudes. Who comes? That's is he from the same thing that some of the same people that Manute Bol is from? Because that's freaking bananas. That's bananas. they're tall unlike, oh my God. A bunch of them were what Bobo was, where my son was trained at the same facility as Bobo. And so his cousins, his brothers were there, both men and women. And I was like, I think I might have been as tall as a teenage, like one of the teenage girls. Like I might have been as tall as her. But the rest, he's 7'2". He's 6'11". That dude, the short one, is 6'8". Like the tall girl might have been 6'7". The small, 6'6", something like that. And them girls was killing them people too. They were killing. The girls are on basketball teams killing them girls, dude, running like antelope, just destroying. Sudan, wherever they were, man, it was crazy. Like, I'm the same type of people as them. Yeah, we got to be distantly related. I'll take some of that, though. Lord have mercy. They are Sudanese. Yeah, man. But look, let me get out of here, man. I don't want to run over today. CJ said, how do we get started on the Patreon? Steve J, come back. Let me get my Patreon organized into those, like listening buckets. Because right now it's kind of, shot in, but you can go to Patreon and sign up at any time. I'm going to be producing one today, but for that particular project is going to take, it's going to be coming out in series, and then be put together, because it really is, because you got to go through all 8 areas of human activity, because it's a fusion. It's a fusion between two ideas of how you solve the problem. It's like not anything that I'm creating, but it's a fusion of thoughts that I've heard from other people, obviously, that address the issue. And it just seems that where one person it's kind of like putting a puzzle together. But I don't think there's much confusion to it anymore. I don't. Like, Neely Fuller Jr. seemed kind of like knows how it operates, right? And then like Frances Cress Wellesley understood like the psych, but they never put it together. I think they had an argument. They were having an argument. You know what I mean? Like he's talking about, what's going on and how you live your life with it and on a physical basis. She was talking about what it is on a psychological basis. So was Frantz Fanon. So you have those guys that address this, and then you have what I believe to be the guy that laid out what was not ever been really laid out before in that fashion. You know what I mean? Because it's just unadulterated fact, and it's a thought process versus like drawn conclusions. But yeah, so it's an interesting academic venture, you know, and I think that it is important because I'm really sick of this shit. Just like for real. I'm sick of like people don't understand mental health is serious. It's serious. And we don't have good mental health. And this, in solving that mental health, the major number one mental health problem that Black Americans have is racism. Without a doubt. The number one problem that we have psychologically is an inferiority complex that turns to that it manifests itself in a dependency. Because when you're dependent, we're split all over the place. And there is nobody going to lead. How are you going to lead that? You know what I mean? Every time, and that's crab in a barrel right there. Because every time somebody tries to lead, what happens? Somebody gets jealous or mad that they're going to get too close and they drag them down. You know what I mean? Or they have a low self-esteem or fear. That's a prison complex, man. We got a prison complex when it comes to relating to one another. It's tough, man. And who would have known it was going to take that you couldn't free the slaves just by signing a piece of paper? And I think it's naive for people to believe that you could. Look at look at the situation the Black people were in America for that long. And you think you can just sign a piece of paper and it's all done? That's what Joy DeGruy talks about. How's it just going to go away like that? She calls it post-traumatic slave stress disorder. But I think that's just part of the inferiority complex or related to it. Being raised with people that all have all kind of trauma, right? And it's a complex of things. It's not one thing. So when you say an inferiority complex, you could have within that complex multiple other diagnoses. And I don't mean try to play psychologist, you know, because all that shit, even that, the way that you separate all of your thoughts and you have to validate your own thoughts against what somebody in a school has to say about it. And if you can't pass their muster, it's not an acceptable idea worthy of being heard. They've even bottled discourse and thought. It's complete domination, manipulation, and monopolization. And that's why there's going to never be any respect for borders or respect for people's, you know, culture or anything, because and I think maybe they got stuck in warrior mode and they never got out of warrior mode. And once they were in warrior mode, they solidified it because they were in warrior mode. Here we are, trying to slowly get out of and recover from a serious ass whooping. And I think we're still dizzy and daisy. You know, we're dizzy as a people and confused and still trying to figure out where we are, what happened. Gotta free the mind first. Yes. And that ass to follow. Gotta free the mind first. Yes, sir. But look, let me get out. So Paulie said racism doesn't exist. So that means you're wrong. Yeah, Paulie must have got me. Man, shut up, Paulie. Paulie. Still mad at Black folk. He got an inferiority complex. Didn't you hear it? When he said that Black people came and raped and pillaged Sicily? That was a direct indictment on him. You remember that? I got to get off of here in a second. Remember that? Paulie Malignaggi threw in Drew Titan's face that Africans, the Moors, had raped and pillaged Italy. Dude, if they had sex with a bunch of people all over Italy and you're Italian, that means that you're a descendant of them. That's you you're talking about. Those are you. But he completely cut it off so much in his mind that he didn't realize that it was his own ancestors he was talking about. You're talking about your ancestors, what your ancestors did, not what my ancestors did, what your ancestors did. What do I got to do with that shit? I don't know for sure that anybody that I was related to was up in Italy doing shit, but you do. You know your people was up in there Italy doing all that. You're blaming your ancestors for it. That's and that's act black. Yo, come on, man. And yeah, there is some things in certain areas, there's jealousies, but you know what they're in. They're like sex related. You know, they're like sex related. That type of shit. Because, you know, for whatever reason, dog, you know, when their girls get that, when a girl want to feel superior, she come over and get this inferior D. Dog. And hey, because don't lunch, that's how they know. That's because the women that got that complex. They want to get a little of that black complex. You know how I go. This Adolf dude obviously watches BFTB get a live troll. Who is Adolf? I ain't even seen Adolf. What is Adolf? But look, man, let me get up out of here, man. Much love to everybody in the chat, everybody in the super chat. And with that, I'll see you guys on OG Boxing Talk this Sunday. Peace. Though I should have checked the super chat. Salute. Hey, I did. My bad. Jedi King Pudge says salute OG, man. Salute to you as well. And with that, we up out of here. Holla.